Hi, this is Dr. Kathleen Neville presenting Drug Development and Implementation. We begin with an overview of the drug process. Notice that it takes 10,000 molecules or more for one drug, otherwise known as an NME, new molecular entity, or BLA, biologic license application. The entire process can take upward of 15 to 20 years, and the cost can be reportedly up to $2 billion. This doesn't include another approximate $312 million for post-approval development. The entire cost can be up to $2.9 billion. This slide illustrates the clinical trials process. Phase 1 is the first in human indications, formulations, and dosage strengths. Phase 2 estimates the activity of a new treatment. It's the first step in testing the efficacy of a new approach in people. Phases 1 and 2 aim to enroll a small number of patients. Phase 3 confirms the effectiveness and safety of a drug, and these trials are usually randomized and compare a new agent or intervention with the current standard therapy. And Phase 4 is post-marketing testing. So why do promising drug candidates fail? Most commonly, it's because of undesirable biologic effects early in the process. Next is poor results in clinical trials. A less common reason is that the drug or biologic is too expensive to scale up. An important point to note is that drug developers want drugs to fail early if they're going to fail. This saves time and money and patient risk. As we discussed, the phase in which a drug fails matters. As stated previously, the most common and early reasons are excessive toxicity or inadequate efficiency, shown by the dark blue and red lines. Other reasons are formulations, market potential, and cost of goods sold, which can all be obstacles to successful development. Note that efficacy and toxicity failures occur early in the drug development process, usually in preclinical and phase 1 phases. So why are drugs so expensive to develop? Costs include the cost of capital investments and research that doesn't lead to a new drug. The source of protection for a company is patent life. Total patent life is currently set to be 17 years. But over the past 30 years, the average effective time which a drug remains on patent has diminished significantly because of increased regulatory stringency. Also, biologics are costly to develop and they don't have any patent protection. In addition, regulatory requirements have become more stringent and rising healthcare costs have demanded innovative breakthrough therapies. This slide shows a comparison of total aggregate R&D costs and marketing plus administrative expenditures, which also include executive compensation. The exact amount industry spends on product promotion remains undisclosed and is inferred through secondary sources. Analysis revealed that between 2003 and 2015, expenditures on marketing and administration exceeded R&D by up to 80%. Let's shift topics. This slide shows the drug development process for pediatrics in the US on the top and the European Union on the bottom. Pediatric studies for new drugs have become mandated by law. Note on this slide that the European process for a PIP, or Pediatric Investigational Plan, is earlier than a US PSP, or Pediatric Study Plan. This means that for international drug development, which is the norm, European regulations largely dictate the program for pediatric study. This slide summarizes the similarities and differences between the US and EU for pediatric drug development. Note that both countries have requirements, but also offer incentives. Also important to note is that the EU approves drugs based on condition, which is broader, versus the US, which approves based on indication, which is more narrow. For example, in Europe, the condition would be a B-cell lineage neoplasm, which would include all B-cell neoplasms, versus in the US, where the indication could be just multiple myeloma. So a word about investigator-initiated trials, or IITs. They're gaining renewed interest as more companies are using them as a cost-effective way to innovate and further advance drug products. These studies are also sometimes part of drug registration, and the move is for more and more of them to be of regulatory quality. Unlike industry-sponsored trials, IITs are developed and executed under the direction of a physician investigator. The investigator is responsible for each and every aspect of the study from design to publication. Companies provide only financial support and/or drug product. So what about innovation? One way to think about it is there are 4 components to drug development: scientific, the science behind the drug or biologic; regulatory, studying the drug under current laws to obtain labeling; operational, which is the logistics and actual trial design; and financial, the cost associated. All 4 aspects need to be innovative for efficient drug development. Examples are the use of extrapolation, registries and natural history studies, and establishing infrastructure for multiple trials. Thank you.